Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha and today we're going to be talking about books. More specifically, we're going to be doing a lot of book things today. We are going to be doing a book haul, we're going to be doing my May wrap up, and we're going to reorganize some bookshelves while I talk about my current reads. I feel like that's a good video. So that's what we're doing today. I know it's been a while since I've last seen you guys, and that's totally my bad. Just, you know, life. It happens. I feel like everyone can understand that. Editing videos has not been my thing. I tried to edit a video the other day and I realized my audio is really bad. So hopefully my audio is better in this one. If it's not, this is going to be rough. It's going to be a rough couple of weeks while I figure it out again. Because like a couple weeks ago I messed up and then I figured it out and I fixed it, but I don't think that's the problem this time. So maybe I just need to buy a microphone and be a real booktuber. But anyways, let's get started. I think I'm going to flash back to past Sam while she talks to you about the books that she's currently reading and reorganizes our bookshelf, because we need a little bit of reorganization, a little bit of reorganizing of priorities. So I don't know which way it should go. Flash back to past Sam. Hi guys, so I am going to reorganize the bookshelves that are behind me in most of my videos. I've decided that when I'm editing videos I want to be looking at my fantasy books, since lately I've been on a bit of a fantasy kick, so this is going to be more of like classics and fantasy on this bookshelf, and then my hardback in rainbow. But normally I would time-lapse this, however I feel like giving you guys a reading update while I do this, and since I have all the books like right here in front of me, I don't think it's going to take too long, so I should be able to give you guys a very decent reading update while I'm doing this. So stuff on the shelf, we're going to do like Robert Jordan and Brandon Sanderson and Robin Hobb and Stephen Erickson and Frank Hubert, my Dune collection. And there's a little bit of Laini Taylor, which I think I might try to fit onto my YA bookshelf. But let's get started. So here's the deal, guys. We're just going to jump right into it. I may have to DNF The Shadow of the Gods. And the reason that is that I am actually reading it with another friend of mine, and she's not into it very much, and I am always team DNF. So if you are enjoying something, I'm always pro DNF it, get it away from you. There's way too many good books in the world for you to be like wasting your time on anything that you feel is mediocre. I might still finish it because I don't think it's, I'm about to say like I don't think it's that bad, but I don't think it's that bad and I'm still kind of intrigued by it. This is life as a mood reader, guys. I picked up Priest by Sierra Simone, and I was actually discussing this with the person I'm reading The Shadow of the Gods with. It's a riot. It is an absolute riot. Definitely for my smutty girlies, for sure. Like, it's basically erotica. There isn't much of a plot. And also, I should probably disclaim, it's for your smutty girls that don't mind religious aspects in their smut. Obviously, it's titled Priest. I wasn't expecting it to jump right in, and I should know better, because that's exactly what it did. It just jumped right the heck in. Like I said, I don't know what it says about me, but I'm enjoying it. It's like a 200-page smutty romance about a priest who falls in love with one of his, she's not even a convert, like she just comes in on a random day and confesses and stuff, and he is intrigued, to say the least. And they start a little romance, and yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. A little bit more of like a mood reading pick after I DNF'd Fourth Wing, and like the trepidation of DNFing The Shadow of the Gods. So kind of squeeze that one in there. And then I also started another buddy read with the same person I read Fourth Wing with, Jessie. We decided we would read The Fisherman by John Langan. This was on her TBR. I know very little about it. I read the synopsis and was like, yeah, sure, we'll read that. Don't ask me what the synopsis is. Once again, it goes in one ear, out the other. But apparently it's a horror, so that's fun. And that's where we're at right now. So if you lost track, because I know I did, The Shadow of the Gods, tentatively might DNF it. We're going to get to the 50% mark probably today and decide. Priest by Sierra Simone, which is like a short smutty book, and also Fisherman by John Langan, which is a short horror story. This one is interesting. I've read like the first chapter, actually only the first chapter. And so far it's about a man who picks up fishing after his wife dies, and he's experiencing her there while he's fishing. And he said it not in a very like paranormal way. It was more of like a sense that she's there. We'll see how that goes. I actually don't know if I have enough books here to do this. So far, I'm going to give you guys the lowdown once I put everything up here. I know I'm going to get more Robin Hobb books, so like the fact that this is like short isn't that much of a big deal. And I think I'm going to put my, like I said, I'm going to move the Laini Taylor over here closer to my YA books. That feels right. And then, because these are so pretty, I did, when I first started reading again, I got into N.K. Jemisin's Broken Earth series, and this was before I realized that the UK editions are smaller, so their paperbacks are smaller a little bit. And so I had like I do that, it's that staggering step nonsense that happens. You can tell when I like put it up there, it's really bad. And then we have, okay, here's the thing as well, so if you guys are gonna stick around. If you know of a good retailer for UK books, you need to tell me, because I had started this collection in the UK edition because I liked the white. It's like, it plays off really well with all the other dark fantasy books that there are. But now I need to find a way to get more books because the book depository closed, and that was like my go-to retail for that. I'm gonna take a second and I'm gonna go grab my other two, you can't see, but my other two for Brandon Sanderson. And I haven't read them yet, but I'm going to go ahead and put them up here, which I'm sure is like some sort of sacrilege, but I also haven't read The Dragon Reborn and Memories of My Dead House Case by Stephen Erickson, so I'm not too bad at it. And you know what? I think along with these, what I can do is we'll just go ahead and make a spot for my other Sarah J. Maas books. These are, okay, don't judge me, these are all mixed up because I'm still currently reading the series, so I haven't like organized it. But I'm kind of digging that. Do you guys, okay, here, controversial question. Do you guys keep the boxes from your box sets? I normally keep them for a little while, but then they'll start to like get dinged up on the sides and stuff for me taking in and out books and like moving stuff around, so then they eventually like find their way into the trash. I think I only ever had the box set for the Aragon, the Inheritance trilogy, but that's it. I told you it wasn't going to take too long. I have a blank space here, but I'm planning on reading more, both Robin Hobb and Stephen Erickson, so let me show you what we're looking at. Robin Hobb, Stephen Erickson, I'm sorry, no, Robert Jordan, Stephen Erickson, which I'm working on this series, as well as The Eye of the World. We're slowly making our way through. We have Robin Hobb, my beautiful retro editions of the Life Ship Trader series, and then my UK edition. Once again, I need another place to buy those. We are going to read this eventually. We're going to get started on this, but I think after those, I just quickly bought these from the book depository in a frantic mindset. And then we have Dune, which I have not read past Children of Dune. I lost my interest in it. And then we have, as you guys all know, Throne Room Class, which I'm currently reading, my favorite series by Laini Taylor. Then we have J.K. Jemisin. That's how you say? N.K. Jemisin. I don't even know what I just said. We're gonna do Brandon Sanderson. I'm kind of digging that. I think it'll look good as a background. Let's see. Okay, let's see. I think it'll make a nice little background for my videos. I feel like it's more relevant to what I'm currently reading. So that's nice. And then my classics are all the way up there. We're sitting on the ground right now. We're sitting on the ground right now, but I'm not mad about that. We have our like YA fantasies and then just some hardbacks that look really cute and pretty. Okay, that's it. Hi guys, I'm hoping I wasn't that annoying. We'll see when I edit it. I don't know. You tell me. Alright, next thing on the program is going to be, I think we'll go with my wrap up. Now that we've discussed like some of the books I was reading when I was reorganizing my bookshelf, let's do the wrap up. So, first book I read was Buddy Read with my dear Jessie, and that was The Bone Shard Daughter by Andrea Stewart, and this was amazing. This was everything that everyone said that it was going to be. I absolutely loved it. This world was so immersive. I loved every single POV in this. I loved every single like plot line. I loved the conclusion of all of them at the very end. As you can predict, if you haven't read this book, I feel like that's something that you can predict when you get like multiple POVs, that eventually they're gonna cross paths, and I loved the way that this one did handle that. The magic system in here is very unique, and I loved that as well. No, this was fast-paced, really good fantasy world, very immersive, characters were great. So I literally have nothing bad to say about this book. This was a 5 out of 5 stars. This was a good pick as far as buddy reads go. And like, we're gonna start here. So like 5 out of 5, I read a really amazing adult fantasy book. The next one was The Adventures of Mumina al-Sirafi by Shanna Chakraborty. This was great. I didn't realize that this is going to be a duology. I thought this was going to be a standalone fantasy by one of my favorite authors. This was good. This was decent. So this was about like a middle-aged female pirate in the Middle East. She's a Middle Eastern female pirate. She's Muslim. It's like a fun, just different setting than what you would normally get in a fantasy. I love that Shanna Chakraborty does that in her David Watts series. It was just as great. But she has a family now, she's retired, and something happens where her family is now being threatened and she has to go on another adventure. And like I said, she's just like this very reputable pirate. Everyone knows about her, everyone has legends about her. So when she resurfaces, she deals with a lot of that. Also her past lovers, which was really funny. Her bad knee, like I think it was funny because like I'm at the age where like I'm not middle-aged, but I am identifying with some of the issues that she has in this book, and I love that. I love that for her. Also this cover is absolutely gorgeous, and Shanna Chakraborty's writing is really great. I do have to give this a 3-star, so this was a 3-star read. Now let me tell you why. It was because of the pace. I feel like the plot and the pace was a little slow. Now, I do feel like that is Shannon in her writing. Specifically, it is slightly slower paced, but the setting and the characters were great. So if you're looking for like a very solid fantasy book, this was great. And then the next two, hopefully I'm not going too fast, but the next two, I have words to say about this. I did a tandem read of Tower of Dawn and Empire of Storms. So this is my first time reading through Throne of Glass, and I'm gonna do a whole video on like all my thoughts on each of these books. Hopefully it's not too, hopefully it's good. We'll see. Tell me if that's something you're interested in. But anyways, this book, great. This book, fabulous, wonderful. This was like 5 out of 5 stars. This book, crap. Like Sarah J. Maas, what were you doing? Why did we have to do this? I absolutely hated this. This centers around Cal, who wasn't my favorite character to begin with. I think this was like Sarah J. Maas's attempt at a redemption arc for him, but it really just was nothing. It was almost 600 pages, 650 pages of no movement as far as like where we were going. We were in this one area. There wasn't really any political discussions. This was literally just about Cal being the drama king that he is and just punishing himself and coming to love someone new and trying to form a political alliance, but it literally took him 650 pages, which is really, like, when you tandem read this, you realize, like, Cole literally did nothing while all of this was going on. You're like, really? It makes you not like him anymore. In fact, if you don't want to read Tower of Dawn, you need to listen to the next, take my advice for like the next minute. Now, if you haven't read these books, make sure that you skip the next minute in case you do want to read this. But I think it's page 530. Yeah, Sarah J. Maas makes you wait until page 530 to get to where things matter. Okay, yeah, chapter 49, 530. Just read that. Just read that and then understand that Cal and our great Ren from the Assassin's Blade, they get together, and a Siren and a prince who rides basically a griffin is how I would describe it. A griffin get together. Alright? That's all you need to know. That's all this book was. And Cal can walk now, but only with the help of Ren, because she has super healing powers, because she's a master healer. We can thank Selena for that in the Assassin's Blade. Okay, so that was the Tower of Dawn was just like, I think I gave it like 2 stars. 3 stars. I feel like 2 stars after I got done talking to it about it. 2 stars. 5 stars. Alright, so like good, amazing fantasy reads, adult fantasy reads, strong political, strong everything, right? And then I picked up Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I have an unpopular opinion about this one. I DNF'd it. And I honestly think that was because I had been set up with all these great fantasy books. And then Fourth Wing is very much like a YA romantasy. And I wasn't ready for that. I don't think I was mentally ready for that. So there's a lot of plot holes is what I found. A lot of plot devices. It read very YA, but then it had very explicit sexy scenes, which didn't mesh. Also, I had a hard time with the setting. So the setting is like this fantasy, dragon riding, castles. They don't have ballpoint pens, like they're writing with quills. But yet when our main character starts to talk about sex and about smutty things, she uses 21st century language. So she's like, oh, I'm gonna climb him like a tree. And I'm like, you don't have a ballpoint pen. How climb him like a tree? What are we? No. So the language didn't match up with the setting, which is which is one of my pet peeves. We gotta have language and setting match up. I also feel like it was just like very randomly thrown in, the romance part. Maybe not even the romance part, but like the explicit scenes, like they were just like really just like thrown in. I called it quits at about 50%. I did go all the way to 50%, which is why I'm putting it in this wrap up. And that was because of a scene with the dragons and her romance. Well, her romantic interest. I did not. That's gonna be a no for me. So yeah, all right. The next book. Oh, the next book. Okay, so after that really sad DNF, which I was very upset about because I wanted to be part of the hype, because you know I love being a part of the hype. I love being a part of the hype. I want to be a part of that. I read Priest by Sierra Simone. Everyone loves a little bit of forbidden love, a little bit of forbidden sexy. And that's all this book was. That's literally all this book was. And it was written from the male POV, which was so refreshing. I absolutely loved that. I'm gonna give this like a 4 out of 5 stars. And it's because like it was from his POV. It was just a forbidden love. It was fun. It was like, it was quippy. It was fast. It was easy to get into. The smut was good. The scenes were good. I liked both the characters. I felt everything made logical sense. So you have to give it a 4 out of 5. It was a 4 out of 5. The next book was The Fisherman. This was a buddy read with Jessie as well. It's called The Fisherman by Josh Langan. It was an ebook, so I don't have it in front of me, so I might have that author name wrong, but I'll put it right here. This was okay. It was supposed to be like a horror book, and I feel like the horror elements were done really well. I feel like the discussion that this author had on grief and how we process grief was really interesting, and it was done well, but I feel like the book was a little bit confused. So the plot was a little confused. Basically you have there's a man, he loses his wife, he finds solace in fishing. Alright, so, you know, going out to the wilderness, spending some time alone, you know, feeling nature, right, and fishing. One of his co-workers, his family also dies, and they kind of team up together with their common ground and go fishing. One of them suggests that they go to this particular fishing spot, and on their way there they learn about that spot. And apparently it's like a haunted fishing spot. And it just goes from there. And like I said, it was a little confusing because I think only about 25% of the book is that plot line, and the other 75% was the lore and like the legend behind this fishing spot, and I wasn't expecting that, so it was very confusing. Like I kept reading, I was like, when are we going to get back to like the other plot line? When are we going to get back to like current times? And then I think like halfway through it dawned on me, like we're not going to like we're gonna stick with this legend and this lore for a lot longer than you expect. And then I felt like I was kind of getting into it again, and we went back to the plot line. So I was a little bit confused. It was a little too confusing for me. So this is definitely like a 2 out of 5. I feel bad because I think Jesse enjoyed it quite a bit, but like I had a hard time with this one. Like the horror elements were there. It was definitely spooky. In fact, it was almost like jump scary, which was kind of fun. And I enjoyed the lore. I just didn't like the way it was set up, and it really confused me and kind of like took me out of the story. But that's all the books that I read in May, which is actually a pretty good reading month. Especially when I have like some chunky books in here. Actually, these are the only physical ones that I read, and they're all pretty chunky, so I can't imagine what it would be like if I had the other books in my hands. I don't know. I'll have to tell you how many pages I read. I'll put it in the title or in the comment down below. We'll decide later. But that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 books. No? 7 books this month, which is pretty good. That's a pretty good reading month, alright? I'm not mad about that. Okay. If you're not tired of my voice yet, we are going to do a quick little book haul. These are just some books that I've randomly picked up. I have lost where I was in hauling my books. Like I said, I have been very bad lately. I have not been tracking things. I haven't, you know, just been feeling it. Lately I've just been wanting to read, which I don't think there's anything wrong with. I just haven't been tracking it very well as far as like what I've hauled and what I'm hauling. So if I repeat, I think this first one might be a repeat, so that's my bad, but I don't remember talking about it with you guys. So this was a gift to myself for my birthday before my source for UK books closed, which was Book Depository, which I'm still kind of mad about. If you guys have any recommendations on where I can buy UK editions, tell me. And like not Waterstones, because I'm not trying to pay like Barnes & Noble's pricing plus shipping just to get a UK edition. I'm not that worried about the format of my books, but this was a birthday present just because I love this cover and I really wanted it. This is a dark academia book, but it's like Unhinged Girls. So I would say it's almost like Bunny by Mona Awad. Basically, this small school has a murder incident, and it closes, and when it reopens, there's this group of girls that go in to try to figure out what happened, and obviously things occur, which I'm kind of excited about. But yeah, we'll get into this probably later in this year. I love this cover though, and that's why I had to pick it up for my birthday. It had been in my cart for a very long time, and I was like, just do it. Alright, the next one, of course, is The Bone-Shard Emperor by Andrea Stewart. I wasn't planning on picking this book up, and then I went into Barnes & Noble's to pick up Fourth Wing, and Fourth Wing wasn't there. I made a whole reel. And Fourth Wing wasn't there, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to waste this trip. So I went ahead and picked up The Bone-Shard Emperor by Andrea Stewart because I do want to continue on with that series. I think it's called, yeah, the Drowning Empire series. I want to read it. I loved that first book. It was 5 out of 5 stars. Like, how do you not continue with the series after 5 out of 5 stars? The other one I picked up for my birthday was The Starless Crown by James Rowland. I don't know anything about this series. I do know it's a fantasy series that I've seen other people reading, and I've seen it in a lot of places, and I have been influenced. And that's it. So I might pick this up after I finish the Drowning Empire, because I feel like I think that's a good plan. We're gonna go with that. Alright? So you might see this in the next couple of months. I don't know. I do know that the second book in this series came out, so maybe that's why I'm seeing a lot of it, but I was influenced. It was at half-price books for like $3, so why not? It was a birthday gift to myself. Again. The next two are my Book of the Month picks for this month, and that is Ink Blood Sister Scribe by Emma Torres. This is a standalone fantasy. Okay, so it's about two estranged half-sisters tasked with guarding their family's library of magical books must work together to unravel a deadly secret at the heart of their collection. A tale of familial loyalty and betrayal in the pursuit of magic and power. I love the cover as well. It's been a while since I got a Book of the Month book because I haven't been reading them, but I'm obviously in a fantasy mood. I have been for the last couple of months, and this one looked interesting, so I picked it up. The same fashion, I have been looking at this one and hadn't picked it up, so I did it as an add-in. Also, if you're interested in Book of the Month, I do have a link down below if you want to use it. I think you get like $5 off your first box, so you can try it out if you like. But this is the other one I put in as my add-in this month. I think it's titled Clemenstria? Yes. By Katsana Castilla. This follows the lines of like a Greek mythological retelling with a little bit of a female feminist twist. And the tagline is, "As for queens, they are either hated or forgotten. She already knows which option suits her best." I don't know. I'm not familiar with the myth that this goes over, so I might have to read that myth before I start this, but I loved Ariadne. Honestly, I love all the Greek myth retellings. I'm definitely a fan of that trend, and this one just kind of spoke to me. So I'm all about an unhinged woman, and I feel like this one might be it. Yeah, so this one's gonna be on there too. I feel like a good summer read too. Greek mythologies are normally pretty good summer reads. I don't know if that's because they kind of remind me of like classic literature in a more fun, easy to digest way. But that's it. That's all I've got. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's not a reading vlog. I need to do one, but I start them and then I don't finish them. I think that's why we've gotten to this point of like weeks since I've posted a video. But hopefully this is a little bit more enjoyable, a little bit different for like a wrap up and a book haul. But that's it. I've talked for long enough. You're probably tired of my face, but make sure you subscribe to see more of my face. I promise that I'll have a video up here soon. Another video up soon. And I will be seeing you guys later.